Island for freaking
I want
milk.
to thank
This
all
is
of you
on
so,
them.
so much. I appreciate each and every last one of you guys.
Yeah, we're paying twice the amount for gas that we used to be paying 3 years ago. We're fighting these market makers till the end. We ain't giving up. They
Oh
robbed
yeah.
us in so many
Oh
ways. They
yeah.
robbed us in so many ways. They steal our money. You gotta buy and hold. That's the name of the game.
That's right. Elohim, can you hear Spence? I'm just curious.
No, I actually can't. I see his
Okay,
mic
I
move,
figured
but
as much.
yeah.
You're talking, but he's like still saying something. But yeah, I figured something's
Yep.
broken with the space.
Somebody
Oh,
dropped.
is he really talking?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Damn, I'm missing everything he's saying.
Yeah. Well,
Jen, why don't
You can
Sorry.
rejoin. You could try to kill the app and rejoin Elohim and see if it fixes it. It usually does.
you can turn on your captions too.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Yeah, if you want.
So just drop them down and bring them back up. They'll probably fix it.
Or just like
Yeah.
dark space all over again. I'm kidding.
It was like dark space call over again.
I'm just waiting for the moment we're in a space like this and this thing just starts to go parabolic. I mean, it's bound to happen. So, Spence, you're gonna run this till it happens, right?
Sure, why not?
And
Like
we're all gonna be
48-hour space.
Well,
Oh wait,
oh, that'll be fun.
market's closed.
No, Spence is going to have to take a long nap and play some video games for this thing to squeeze.
I've
We'll
been playing
PJ
Breath of the
and Jen
Wild
will
all
run
day.
the show.
Yeah, rotate co-hosts. That would be like the appropriate thing to do, I would think.
See what happens when I save Hyrule? Shit just goes off the freaking wall, man. Here's my theory on this. The filings that HYMC put out on their dilution, on their share offering, specifically had a section in there talking about a short squeeze. What it is, why it is. I mean, they filed that with the SEC. I made a multiple videos about it. And I posted some tweets where I highlighted those sections where they talked about the stock short squeezing. I wonder if they're just going to drop an absolute bomb on earnings call next week. Because this thing's already out of control. The pressure's already, the lid's already trying to pop off of it right now. And I think this is what I wondered about the barcoding today. And a lot of barcoding sometimes happens when they do like a split or something. I wonder if it's because they increased the shares for AMC and Sprott, if that triggered something that something about the float data being over 100%. And that's why the algos are freaking out and it barcoded today. But I got a good feeling that this week, this next week, or the first week of April, we're going to see something break. You can't keep this under wraps.
That's right, baby. Everyone go retweet that short interest. I mean, that's insane. That is insane.
Spread it like wildfire. Let the people know.
Hey, Tara,
Oh, yeah.
I did actually, sorry, I'm still driving. And by the way, I had to get out of a couple other positions because up until I sent that to you, I was not in HYMC. I was just there supporting my ace. So now I'm a part of HYMC, but hey, I did send you, there's more FINRA history in the last two screenshots I sent to you, going back to December 2020.
Okay, I'm going to check it out.
I think
It
we're
would
going to
be-
see ridiculous FOMO pretty soon.
Yeah, it would be interesting to do a comparison of that short interest versus the share price at the time.
So a couple things I wanted to, I mean, don't label me as a shill here. I just, to temper things just a tad. You have to remember that the reporting date of the shorts was on the 15th, which was the day of the price spike. And digging into Vortex data, they do show, because they also, if you do their advanced tab, they do show when loans were returned. They do show that 8 million shares were returned on the 17th, on Thursday the 17th. But then there was another increase in shares, or a dip in returns, and then an increase. So anyway, I'm looking through this, not saying that this isn't still squeezable, but I do not think that the short, based off of what Ortex is saying, and I know that that's just a piece of the puzzle because they don't have all the data and all that kind of stuff. And there definitely is other things going on here because the cost to borrow is still through the roof. It's still on the threshold list and has been for 8 days. So there's definitely lots of things going on here that makes this squeezable, but I wouldn't go off of there still being today 41% short interest based off of the Vortex data.
So do you think that there was covering that was happening on the 15th? Is that what you're...
It looks to me that a bunch of shares got returned on the 17th is what Ortex is showing. They're showing 8.21 million shares were returned on the 17th. So I think the price went up. I think the price went up. People shorted it, and in the process of shorting it, they borrowed a bunch of shares, and they probably didn't have a chance to return them necessarily to the other broker because that all happened on the 15th, which was the reporting day. So technically, they were still short.
And do we know when Sprott and AMC increased their holdings?
That was today by the filing, or at least it was filed today.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and so that was a filing. It was basically an updated filing, and it looked like it had to do with the fact that Eric Sprott, as an individual and president of the Limited Ontario type of thing, I didn't see, actually, I misunderstood it. So they still both own, here, let me pull it up. They both own 23,408,240 shares, as well as the equal amount of warrants as well. As of the date of that they were using, which was I'm pretty sure was the 17th, they were still reporting there being a total number of shares of 107,249,875, and then the warrants as well. So based off of that, and then Mudrick basically has the other large percentage. I think what's going on is that Mudrick, the reason why the short interest is so crazy high right now is that probably Mudrick, AMC, and the LLC, now that they bought all the shares, they're recalling all of those shares, and between the three of them, they own almost the entire company. So that's what's causing the squeeze. It's my
if they recall the shares, that would expose any naked or synthetic shorting. So, I mean, if they own the entire company and they're not loaning out shares, then how would short interest be over anything over 20? Well, I'm glad I'm in. That's for sure.
I'm glad I'm in too. I'm holding.
Me too. Me three.
I'm glad I'm in too.
Holding AMC and HYMC.
And I think I'm going to buy more right now.
I got a question.
EJ, don't tempt me to buy more too.
And don't kill me for asking this, but I was driving and I heard somebody say that, this isn't just one MOAS. This is going to be spread across a bunch. But isn't that going to cut into the market cap? I mean, isn't there only so much money to cover all of these stocks that could potentially squeeze?
Well, they'll probably squeeze at different times, to be honest with you, because the funds will have to close one position to cover another, or they'll collapse and have to hand all their long positions over, their long stocks over to the DTCC and claim that cash loan program to cover and pay it out. Now, and don't kill me for saying this, but you guys obviously have seen the consistency in them forcefully shutting down the markets to stop squeezes. So, you know, will these things go to $500,000? I don't know. Do I believe they will? Me personally, I don't think so, because we've already seen them shut it down 2 or 3 times. I mean, they closed the freaking nickel exchange to pay out this big time Chinese billionaire because he was losing. Do I think it's still a game and you're still going to make a ton of money? Absolutely. So I don't think everything will squeeze all at once. I think it'll be a series of squeezes.
Right, like a
it'll
domino
be more
effect.
drawn out. It
Well, let
won't
me
be.
ask you, what exchange did they limit nickel on?
The LME.
Right.
Which is the Britain exchange, right?
Yeah, London Metal Exchange.
Okay. Well, and I'm just asking because there's been a lot of scrutiny, right, for Wall Street, the United States. Are we just a farce and just as corrupt as us judging Chinese markets and everything? So I think that we have a little bit more pressure on us as Wall Street, for legitimizing and being the monetary value of the world. So if they keep on messing around, the United States is going to suffer. I mean, they're already talking about trying to switch to what was it for OPEC with Saudi Arabia, India, and changing the currency price in exchange for oil to a different currency, right? Wasn't it the Russian ruble? So the BritTax or the LME have a little bit different of a makeup than Wall Street does, from my point of view. I mean, we've had a lot of focus and a lot of corruption that has been on the media, or we've been pushing, right? And if they do that again, and they have 10 million apes or whoever, retail investors, whatever we want to call ourselves, saying, hey, we're corrupt, can they really afford that? Can Wall Street afford that? That's the question. I don't see it beyond something they're doing. I don't think that you're necessarily wrong. They'd love to do that. But will they?
We will see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're just here spectating. I will say that with I downloaded Ortex. I'd say March of I used free trials since March, and then I finally bought in May of last year. And I have been watching short interest throughout the whole time. Nothing has really. I've seen a couple of the as they call meme stocks just suddenly jump up so high in short interest. I think that whoever has Ortex will see that tomorrow, since they reported. You won't see 21% on their estimated short interest. It's going to jump because they're tracking, but they only capture about 80% of the market, right? So with FINRA reporting that it's at 41%, I'm guessing that we're going to see Ortex on a daily basis go at least to 30% tomorrow morning. They update it throughout the day, but after hours, they update it like 7 a.m. the next day. I think there's been 2 that I've seen just magically pop up 20% higher. And that was Adder and I don't remember the last one at this moment. But there was a lot of price movement when they did jump up. So I think it is a very good sign. It does concern me, not with Adam Aaron, because if Adam Aaron and AMC invested in this, I don't think this is a short, a hedge fund hoax. But there have been a couple stocks that I have been worried about that they just magically popped up. So it's going to be interesting watching this.
Hey Spence, can you repost those interviews, those videos you posted earlier in the week? I think there's a lot more people coming to this, and it was really helpful for me for sure.
You talking about the Eric Sprott interview?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, Eric Sprott interviews, yes.
Yeah, let me go find it.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna drop back down. Thanks, guys, for putting this on.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Hey, Will, how are you?
Can't complain. Was able to get out of a call position with SNDL, and I was debating if I was going to buy in more shares of HYMC, and saw what Tara posted, and I'm like, that's what I wanted to know. So bought a few more shares. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. Cool.
And then
Let's
I had enough
go,
money.
baby.
So got some more AMC shares, and I was able to get some more calls on SNDL. So hopefully that all goes well, so I can cash out and buy more.
That's awesome, man. Congrats. Let's fucking go.
You know, I know it's kind of not exactly on topic, but SNDL was another short play. And if we keep on ripping on certain plays like this, it may help out to make them have more liquidity on hand because they might get margin called. So
Yeah, you're right. But I think that more of the price action today, because that's actually one of the ones I got out of today to get an HYMC. And I'm an avid supporter of medicinal marijuana in general. And I guess they actually just planned on having a meeting on Monday for the House to extend the medicinal marijuana research. So I think it was more a little bit of price action for that.
well,
But
SNDL had
a
the
lot of
extension.
potential.
Well, SNDL had the extension because they're acquiring another company, so the deal was supposed to go through so they can merge. That way, they didn't get delisted. But I'm just saying, with a heavily shorted, company, whether it be GME, AMC, or HYMC, if you have a catalyst and you have enough buy-in, the pressure is going to come off. So once that starts going, I'm just assuming that it would have an effect on the rest of the plays.
I mean, I am one of the believers that thinks that we're going to see when things squeeze, a lot of stocks are going to squeeze. They haven't been manipulating just AMC. We know that. We chose AMC to, put our foot down and say enough is enough, right? But I think we're going to see a huge percentage of the market just rip at once. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Time.
In my opinion, I don't think they're going to be able to afford, example, for, let's just hypothetically say AMC to run by itself, and then all of a sudden GME runs by itself, and then you have all these little ones, because at that point we'll have enough money to even buy in to make it go higher. So that's why I always thought that it's whatever you have in, and it's going to run at the same time, so you can't jump around as easy. That's just my opinion.
If AMC rips or GME rips, and the hedge funds get margin called, are they going to have enough money to push off and hold off, maintaining their other short positions? I mean, I've been hoping that the little ones would rip first and to get more money to put into them, or vice versa. But I mean, they've
That
impressed
might have
me the
been
last
Adam
year.
Aaron's strategy, Craig.
Yeah,
Was exactly that.
True that. I will say that even though I love Sundial and I definitely have been holding, they have a $2 billion share float, and one of their agreements was if it was necessary, they would do a 10-to-1 reverse split if they couldn't hit a dollar by June, right? So that is something to be aware of. That they're, all of these are risky, but that one and them publicly stating that a 10-to-1 reverse split would not be good for Sundial holders. I watched it with a couple different stocks in the last year, the reverse split, and it didn't turn out pretty. I think Metamaterials was one of those, right?
But wouldn't that be if the actual market makers and all them were doing things legally, that it took an adverse effect? Because I mean, a lot of things that would typically be a catalyst currently drops, and things that shouldn't be a catalyst, where you would want to exit, blow up and go like to the moon,
I mean, I agree with you. Just like, let's take HYMC and compare it to Sundial, okay? HYMC has a 60 million share float, right? But their free float, the available of that, is 12 million shares. So technically, between you and I and the rest of the market, there's only 12 million shares that should be available to trade. If you look at Sundial, there's 2 billion shares, and 99% of those are available, which means that there's 1.9 billion shares to be traded on a daily volume, which, you know, like when you compare it, it's much more easier for a hedge fund to manipulate and just rock our world with Sundial than it would be something like HYMC. And I mean, maybe that's one of the reasons that, our 3D chess is happening with Adam Aaron, because this is a low cap. It is a short or
small cap.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry. I'm getting all excited now.
Yeah, Yahoo's reporting 40.52% also.
Yeah, and Craig, like Spence just put up at the top, and I know you can't click on it right now because you're driving, but it's a YouTube video. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's Eric Sprott on predatory short selling and saving Canadian mines. So anyone who's interested in checking that out, Eric does not like predatory short sellers at all.
So there's 60.41 million shares outstanding and an 11.93 million float. That's Yahoo, so it might be a little lower. It might be more than that. This might be from February. But I mean, we've probably already bought all the shares. I mean, we've just from this last couple weeks with everybody I've seen buying in, AMC buying in, Sprott buying in. The only shares that were freed up were from White Box Advisors, who sold like 7.9 million. This is wild. They trapped them. This was a trap. This was a short trap. They literally dug a pit in Nevada and put sticks over it, and the shorts came over and saw a piece of meat hanging on a string and went for it and fell in a fucking pit. They are toast.
Well, they deserve it for being idiots. So
remember when Chewbacca saw the meat in the Forest of Endor and he grabbed it and they got caught in a net?
God, Spence.
And that's how you make a piñata. No, I'm just kidding.
It's fucking gold, baby. It's fucking gold. Let's get excited.
This is wild.
I was going to tell you, for your post last night, you want to find a guy like that will hold his NFT. I was going to tell you, I think you want to find a guy that would hold you like he holds his AMC shares.
That's right. That's right. I can't stand a guy who's short. I like a guy who goes long.
Smart lady, yes.
Oh my goodness. What's your thoughts, man?
Well, there's too many jokes that I could have gone with right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could get down and dirty in an hour after closing. Maybe I'll do a late night call and not drag Spence into this.
The only bad part is the girlfriend's home, so I can't listen.
Oh, she could come. You're not invited. Let her come instead. No, I'm just playing.
No trust in paradise, bro.
Is that Joey?
No, it's not that. It's it's she says
Joey.
that I keep her awake because she's asleep.
All right.
Yeah, she does. She seems super chill. Yeah, you got a good one there, Will.
So there's like 12 people on YouTube right now that just joined. I want to break down the content of the call real quick again. So we just heard today from Fintel reporting 92% short interest on HYMC. Other sources, Ortex reporting 40.52%. Came out of nowhere. We saw the price action today. Adam Aaron's been tweeting ridiculously aggressive on this. HYMC put out some filings for their share offering, specifically highlighting short squeeze scenario, which I pinned to the top, the clips to the top. So you now have Sprott and Adam Aaron us, AMC, with 35.3% ownership stake in the company apiece. And right after that was announced, short interest goes up to 40 to 90%, whatever it is. On top of that, you now have a massive amount of people in the community with their eyes on it. So my specific strategy on this is the buy and hold. I've got what I want. I'm in deep. I'm holding until this thing absolutely explodes. Not financial advice.
Yeah, I'll speak to that. And, oh, hell yeah, Jen. What up, Twitter mom?
Hey, what's up, Joe? What's up, Joey?
We're doing okay.
Are you going to do another market minutes today?
Today, sure. Why not?
I mean, I don't want to force you. I mean, I don't.
No.
It would be cool to hear a HYMC, take in there too, if you can.
I'll do a drop in there. That's fine. Spence, thank you for doing so much research on this. I was messaging with Spence for the last few days on HYMC, and I was, shame on me, I'm not as educated in this specific ticker as I should be. And Spence, big kudos to you for educating me within HYMC world. I just kind of hopped on the bandwagon originally when it came down from the pop, like 130. I actually today and bought it back down, and I am not going to do that again after listening to what Spence just had to say. I'm just being honest. Sold at like 144, and now I actually have a better cost average than I did originally with more shares. So I actually accumulated. That's really hard to do. Very risky. I do not recommend. But,
we did the same thing, Joey. Me and you got in around the same time, and then I flipped some today, just like a very small percentage to buy back in tomorrow. But I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah. After hearing this new information, it's very familiar to some stocks that we love. So that's incredibly fascinating to me.
Like you never know when they're just gonna rip. That's how it's familiar. You just don't know.
Yeah.
So it's really risky.
And with, to your point, Tara, 2-week settlement and short interest, I'm really curious to see what that's going to look like over the course of the next 2 weeks. I think we'll get further clarity across third-party aggregators, whether that's Ortex, FINRA. Like it just doesn't matter. Like I think they'll be closer together as we move along. That said, I'm going back. This is not financial advice, to my personal strategy of buying and holding. I'm actually planning on accumulating more tomorrow, but to Spence's point, I was in like super heavy, 50,000 shares, give or take. So made a pretty penny on that this afternoon, and now I've accumulated more, and I am not going with the swings. We are along for the ride.
Let's fucking go, baby. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking gold. I mean,
I was just reading a comment from someone named Steven, and he says, keep in mind that this doesn't account for the dilution, which we've refrained from calling it that. But he says there could be as many as 400 million additional shares. I will wait until numbers are updated. And then King of Specs, who is doing amazing DD as far as HYMC goes, he responded and said there's a maximum of 186 million shares, which could be sold at the money. Do some research. So I just want to say there's already like a mini army out there of people who are representing and doing serious research, including Spence, who's put on several calls now for HYMC, and Swing and others, Flip, other people I see in here. There is an army of people who are all about HYMC and completely supportive of AMC and Adam Aaron being an investor there. So I think that's amazing.
Tara, what was the increase AMC had in their overall shares today?
According to what I read, it's at they have 38% now, so up from 22.
And was that 13D filings? Where was that?
I believe so.
Cool.
So imagine this now. You're a company sitting on a gold mine in silver with two really big, well-known investors behind your name and an army of retail investors that are loyal. And you have shares that everybody on the street wants to buy right now. They can set whatever price they want. They say, yeah, $20 a share if you want to buy in. And that's how it's going to be. They don't have to sell the shares at $1.50. They don't have to sell them at $2. They can wait now, since they've already approved them. They can wait until the thing's $5 and then go, oh, hey, yeah, we'll sell you 10 million shares at $5. That's how they do their liquidity raise. They'll take offerings from investors from the street after they reach 100% gains, and they don't have to go to the board and vote on it. They can just go ahead and issue it. So it's not a bad way of doing business. Do I think it'll kill the squeeze? Absolutely not. If anything, they sell the shares, the float dilutes a little bit, but the people who bought in at the higher price, that kind of counteracts that. So now you have shorts getting stuck further and further in as people FOMO in for these shares that are extremely valuable now.
Hey guys, Sugar has had his hand up here for quite a while. Sugar, still there?
Hello. Thank you guys, Spence, Tara, all of you guys for doing this as always. And we all were looking for a ray of light, for a long time, and I think this could be the one of that ray of light, that everyone was looking, and I'm glad Adam did this because I remember when AMC was $14, and I'm sitting and looking. I'm like, okay, it might come a little bit down, and here I have money with me, and then it went up to 27. I'm like, okay, it might come down, and the next thing, it's up to in 40s and 50, and I said, screw it, I bought it. But I I think for people like me, it's it's really good opportunity because what I miss with AMC, I don't want to miss with HYMC. So I am hopeful, and with the price being so low, I'm trying to work as much as I can, and I can see that this thing, like how much potential it has, and like Tara says, like with the army we have behind it, that's one of the reasons why Adam did it, because he knew there are like 4-5 million people, they will, and being share price this low, I'm hopeful that this will really do good to a lot of us. So it's not a financial advice, but if you can do it, I mean little bit, even few shares, it makes a lot of difference, when the stock will be 10 or 20 or $30, it all adds up. So for me, it's people like me. I'm glad that I was able to buy, and I just hope that it can hold on a few more weeks so I can, buy a little bit more shares. And, hopefully this thing will do good to everyone, And AMC, I mean, I always believed in AMC, GameStop, but, it's like what I missed on AMC and GameStop, I don't want to miss that chance again. So I'm glad that I got this opportunity, and I'm going to do the best I can, and just like you guys said, and just wait on it, and let's see. It's like the thing. I think things going to be really good going forward. This year, I think I'm very hopeful. That things going to get better for everyone, and it'll be all good. But thank you for everyone's patience. Like whether you are an OG, you bought it at $2, or whether you bought it at $50, like me. But it's everyone makes.
Yeah, Sugar, it doesn't matter. We're all part of the same army. We're all part of the same army. So.
Exactly. It makes a difference because we are all. If the old folks like OGs would not be here holding the fort, we would not be here when this play, and if it would not be for the new people, it would not have mattered how many OGs we have. So it's a combined effort for everyone, and the community we have. I mean, I have never seen such a loving, caring, and appreciating community. And that's what that's the one thing the other side don't have. They might have all the media, they might have all the politicians, they might have all the money in the world, but they don't have what we have. It's a community, and that's why that the AMC will never go to 1 cent, like they were saying. So I'm thankful for all of you guys, those who are here, holding the fort. And let's go. We will. The brighter days are ahead, and it'll do good to all of us, Ben. So thank you for all of you guys, and Spence, thank you. For as always taking out time and educating people and, helping out people, man. I really appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah, everybody right now, throw up hearts for Sugar and Spencer host. Come on, throw up hearts, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Throw them up. Throw up hearts. I'm working out too right now. Sorry.
Thank you, Jen. You guys are very sweet people. Thank you. Love you all. Thank you.
Sugar, sugar.
Okay, everybody stop with hearts. I'm kidding, Spencer.
All right, guys, I got to hop off here and go find some food really quick. But thank you, Spence. I'll try to come back if you're still hosting. I appreciate it. And if anything happens, someone better let me know if any after hours craziness goes down. Thank you for hosting.
Oh, yeah. You guys feel free to open the discussion up. I mean, I don't really have any more until earnings hits. So if you just want to drive and talk and do whatever.
Hey guys, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I came late to this, so not sure if it's already been discussed, but was curious if anyone had thoughts on why the short interest shot up, and then if there was any discussion on sort of the changing of the TRS support about the reserves that this mine, has.
Spence, swing.
Swing covered why he thought the shares went up or the shorts went up. I can't remember exactly what he said. My theory is they've just naked shorted the shit out of the company, but when it hit $2, they really had to pile in. Then Adam Aaron and Sprott came in and bought over half of the company, and Mudrick owns another quarter of it. So if there's any type of recall going on right now, then the short interest would have spiked because they've exposed what was going on in the company with the naked shorting. And as far as the reserves, I didn't know, is this something that, did they just file something new? Because the last I heard from their prelim, they found a new high grade mine near surface that was like 5 times more high grade than the mines that they've been working in prior. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was something that came out, I guess, in a filing on 8K on March 15th, where basically, and I'm not, I'm not a mining expert at all, so totally curious about this. But in the 8K on March 15th, they basically said this technical report summary, it's called a TRS, I guess, that talks about how much, what's in the mine and what the reserves are. On March 15th, they replaced the one they used, I guess, for whatever original filings they had. And I guess the kind of question is, it sort of changes from, the word changes from reserve to resource, which I guess can mean that it's sort of less sure of what the mine may have. And that, I guess that to me, I've seen some people talk about is why a lot of people are piling in to short it.
I think they understand that they finished their drilling program in January, their last drilling program for core sampling and whatnot. And they reported that they found that very high grade area in the vortex zone in the Porter region. So I'm assuming when they switched from reserve to resource, it's meaning that these are now accessible for them to actually mine. It's not just what's assumed to be in the total overall acreage of the land. It's that they found this new high grade area that is now a resource to be mined specifically, because I'm thinking during earnings they're going to announce that they're going to switch their ROM operations that were closed down from whatever areas they were actively working to this new one, because it's so close to the surface. It can be operated as an open pit. So I'll double check that filing again for what you're talking about, though.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer. That's really helpful.
Dave, I almost didn't recognize you. You changed your profile pic. You're gold. Love it.
Yeah, I had to change it to the gold profile. Hey, I wanted to check in on something because I was just telling my dad about this. Are these filings showing that Eric Sprott and AMC both picked up 38%, or was that showing that Eric Sprott's entire ownership at this point is 38% as well as AMC's? I just want to be clear.
It's the entire ownerships. Swing was talking about maybe they exercised warrants, but they both hold 35 or 38.5 ownership stake now.
Right. Wow. So in theory, they basically bought the company. Like, that's pretty wild. And what do you guys have to say? Just because I haven't been like watching the data super closely with HYMC, but I'm just curious about the disparity in short interest between Fintel and Ortex. Like, what's good with Ortex showing the 25, Fintel showing 92, and TD Ameritrade showing like 0.56% short interest? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know the problem with the short interest, except, it is self-reported. So that might be it right there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah.
Well, I think this is exciting.
I think they've completely busted these guys, shorting well over 100% of this company. And it's easier for them to go after them by just buying into HYMC, because now they're not hosting their own entity. So the SEC can't come after them for trying to force a squeeze on their own company. I think this is the freaking tiger trap, and they've absolutely caught them, man. I think this is it.
I think
wild.
the whole theory behind what Adam Aaron and Sprott were doing was that, as you just said, it was basically a tiger trap. So they saw a bunch of shorts and hedgies pile in and short the company, try to bankrupt them. They knew that the mining operations weren't happening so far. They're closed right now, but they're going to reopen hopefully soon. So they saw an opportunity to trap these shorts, and then they bought more and more shares of this company until they locked up basically close to 80% of the float. And now they basically control the whole. I mean, they own most of the company, as you just said. So they really did trap, these shorts that were trying to bankrupt this company.
That's so genius.
So I wanted to add in here. We were talking about the difference between a resource versus a reserve. And I found an article that's talking about specifically this topic. It's in 24hourgold.com. Specifically, they make a reference back to a definition given by the Toronto Mercantile Exchange. TMX, I believe, is the exchange name, or maybe it's TME. I can't remember which. But they say a mineral resource is a concentration or occurrence of natural, solid, inorganic, or fossilized organic material in or on the Earth's crust in such a form and quantity and of such a grade or quality that it has reasonable prospects for economic extraction. The key being reasonable prospects for economic extraction. Mineral resource, and so remember, mineral resource, prospect for economic extraction. Now, let's jump down to a mineral reserve. Economically mineable part of a measured or indicated mineral resource demonstrated by at least a preliminary feasibility study. So what that means is the reserve has an idea of what they expect may or may not be there, whereas a resource means it has confidence that it will, under the correct economic circumstances, be profitable.
Thanks, Jay Brett. Yeah, that's, I believe, why they put their 2021 prelim out with that data on the high grade near surface prospect. I'm guessing that's why Eric Sprott also has already invested $140 million into the company. More or less, it seems like White Box Advisors decided to jump ship almost immediately after they filed that 2021 prelim and AMC and Eric Sprott jumped in, which they could have been in talks to do this back before February 22nd. I'm pretty confident White Box Advisors is the inside guy trying to short the living shit out of this company, or they were. And funny enough, White Box Advisors is also short AMC, and White Box and Citadel were both short Cineworld. So it seems like they've absolutely caught these guys in the perfect trap. It's just the perfect storm right now. I'm so excited that I'm calm, but I really believe in my bones that this is the play. There's more happening. There's more freedom for Adam Aaron and Eric Sprott to do what they need to do to blow these guys out of the water with HYMC than if it was just Adam Aaron with AMC. Legally. Yeah, he has more rights to do things.
Hey, Spence, somebody just sent me, how they were talking about listing on NASDAQ. What do you know about that? Like, somebody just sent me, on Fidelity, they said that, it's not going to be listed on NASDAQ. I'm going to send you the DM
it's fine because it's closed the $1 closing price for the last 10 days, so there's no delisting worries.
Okay, thank you.
Tell them to Google NASDAQ listing requirements.
Okay, thank you, sir. Hey, I wanted to ask you, one more thing. If you got some extra shares, I can hold it for you. I'll give it to you after the squeeze.
Oh, yeah, man. No, for sure. Yeah, I'll send them right over to you.
Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Don't trust me, huh? Oh, man.
Well, it's wide open, guys. I just like.
So, do we think we're going to see some action tomorrow on this stock, or do you think it'll take till earnings or after that? Because I feel like number one, we're gaining a lot of watchers and eyes on this, which is obviously important because that means more volume and more buyers. But also, we need people to stay. Like, people can't just scout for pennies, otherwise this isn't going to go anywhere,
Which is the mistake I made. I don't know if you heard, who was that speaking? Maddie?
Yeah. I heard you earlier. You said you sold and then bought back in.
I just didn't understand the play, The further I educate myself on the play, and just as the AMC community, GME community, it's called the stonk community, which I hate, is going to educate themselves on this. It's inevitably going to happen. Social media always wins. The internet always wins. And I would not be surprised by the more education that is put out on this, the more transparency we'll have.
Holy shit, there you are. I just tweeted out your market minutes, Joey.
Thank you, Jen. Appreciate that.
And
I did it quickly for you.
I'm like, oh, there you are.
Thank you. I did a little rough cut, one take today.
No, that's cool. You guys in the room, check up here. We just pinned it to the call. A new market minutes from Joey Cameron. It's amazing. Check it out. He's doing a lot of good things. Check him out. Give him a follow. He's awesome. Let's fucking go.
So the beautiful thing, Joey, like you were hitting on, the community, the retail investment community, all individually as investors know better now. They know what's going on. We've been through it. We've been educated. So this could set up to be something really amazing.
So I want to just add on that for a second, if you don't mind. When we say that, we're educated, we know what we're doing, I agree 100%. So I was thinking, right, so the stock squeezes, it goes really, really high. We all sell at the same time as the shorts are covering, it goes all the way down. What are you going to do next? I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to buy back in. And I'm going to do it until I can't do it anymore. I mean, I think these squeezes are going to be huge.
TJ is ready to go. She is the Spitfire. I love it.
I am. Well, I'm done waiting. Even though I will wait some more or however long it takes. But it's true. I mean, these things can go on for years.
The beautiful thing is the mine itself, the company is being set up to be successful. If these new deposits are right on, if they actually produce the higher quality precious metals on the market right now, they are going to absolutely rip. as a company financially. So even if after the squeeze or whatever happens, I'm not even sure how much the price would
Hey,
come
Spence,
down.
I don't have long, but JS, what you just said, right? Ultimately,
PJ? Yeah.
what has transpired over the last year has proven that they have gotten themselves into a pretty much a mess, and it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be a constant thing. People are gonna squeeze the stock. It's gonna rise, and it's gonna get shorted back down because they're gonna try and make back some money, and it's gonna keep repeating itself, and it's gonna get. I think you're gonna constantly see peaks, and you're gonna see valleys, just like what's his face said not long ago. You know, this is gonna be. You're gonna have high squeezes, you're gonna have low squeezes, and it's gonna be a constant, ultimately a gain for retail investors because it's going to be constant. They're going to constantly try and short the stock to make money back. And if it's not them because they go belly up, it'll be somebody else.
I'll
And
say a
can you,
bold theory that I think they're going to restrict shorting certain stocks after this
I
pops
think,
off.
honestly, yeah, I agree with you to a degree. I think that they're going to start to realize that payment for order flow. I think that they're going to start to realize that the dark pools. It's all working against the U.S. in general.
Yeah, so Bo,
Oh, we're here to stay,
legislation's
so
already like in.
this shit
Sorry,
out.
I think I'm interrupting someone.
Oh, you're fine, Joey. Go ahead.
Legislation's already moving as we speak. Like, this is, we talk about the golden pocket.
Yeah, they're just waiting
TA
for it to happen for them to implement it.
Yeah, it's never. We're in like a black swan event, and this doesn't just go for AMC. This goes for a number of predominantly speaking, small to mid cap stocks, like you saw with Sundial in the after hours today, like you saw with Mullen, like you've seen in AMC and GME. You name it, costs. You name one, right? There's been tons of them, but once these are done, it's done. Like this is my opinion. But there is tons of legislation being passed. To your point, Bo, payment for order flow, and those are all good things. But they're trapped, and they can't get out of these. Like it has to play out. But then after this is done, however long that is, it's not going to happen again. Not to the extent we're seeing it now. Not the over leveraging that you're seeing now.
I think you're right.
That's a buzzkill, Joey. I really wanted to do this for a living.
I'm sorry, man.
Keep doing this,
They can't let it happen forever. The education retail is they're not under lock and key anymore. Social media has presented a level of transparency or transparency to understand the lack thereof transparency, and therefore we want transparency. So it's going to happen. Like it is going to happen. Obviously, the SEC, DOJ move incredibly slow, but these plays have to play out. They have to. So.
Well, I'm going to add stock hostage to my resume.
I love it.
Hey, can you believe there was a show Gold Rush, isn't it? With the Parker, that young kid who became a millionaire wine boss. Can you imagine if we have some of those guys like, or somebody, like promoting our mine, or even have a show on something like HYMC, man. It'd be crazy, huh? Something like that can happen. I mean, if we can give Nicole Kidman so much money, $20-some million, I am sure, we can have very good promotions. Maybe they already have something going on under, who knows?
How's everybody doing tonight? Hey, I've been with the community since 2019, and I'm still with the community and will never leave. AMC, I'm definitely in that for the long run. Even with the squeeze come, I'm going to sell, and then I'm going to buy back in permanently. Adam Aaron is a bulldog, and believe me, anything he touches is going to be golden.
And Sprott is an amazing gold investor too. So we have some amazing investors on our side that have millions of dollars. So the fact that people are wanting to sell this for 5% gains is beyond me. I mean, do what you want with your own money, but I mean, not financial advice, but I'm holding this till I get my money.
Don't make fun of me, Maddie. I made 14%. I'm not going to do it again.
No, I'm not referring to you. I'm referring to people that haven't done their DD on the company or haven't joined the space call.
Hey, just want to say, Gold 79. I see that you're trying to come up to speak. Unfortunately, it's full up here. So as soon as somebody can drop, I can get you in to speak. So
Hey, I'll drop.
I'll
Guys.
drop down.
it's all good. I mean, if he's willing to wait and stuff, but yeah, but I do see you. Yep, I saw that heart. So I see you. We'll get you up. So, and we got him.
Yes, I just saw the Timeless of the Space, 19% short interest. Where is that being reported from, number one? Number two, back to the regulations that are being passed or have been passed with the SEC from the start of this thing, from the summertime on up. They're trying to ensure that this type of crap doesn't happen again.
Yep. But it still has to play
it
out.
all has to play out.
The shares
They're
are out
trying to
there.
make sure
They're
that
on
it does
loan.
not happen again.
The 92% is reported on Fintel right now.
Jesus Christ.
Ortex is reporting 40.52%. Yahoo is 40.52%. So,
I mean, geez.
And keep in mind that anything above 10% is considered high for short interest. So 40% is wicked high.
Thank you, Matt, for pointing that out. I don't think a lot of people in the room know that, so thank you.
You have to put it into perspective in order to actually understand the impact that the short interest has. If someone who doesn't know what short interest is claims, 40% is nothing, it should be like 60 or more, they're just lying to you. They're trying to spread FUD. So don't listen to them.
And I said this on the space call before. Adam Aaron, between him, Eric Sprott, and Mudrick, they've got something cooking. They got it. The kitchen's on full blast.
And they trap these shorts. This is the perfect setup. Perfect setup for an AMC like squeeze part 2.
Yep,
this could squeeze to 20 to 40, whatever. I mean, bulls can set the price if we hold.
Yep. I mean, you're looking at the paperwork. I just looked at it. Somebody found it on Doco. Was it Doco.com? Between the three of them, only 103% of the float. Just 3 individuals. It's ridiculous. So, like I said, I like what they're cooking. I like the way it smells. I'm already in.
well, I think the game plan is, obviously nobody's colluding. We're all doing our own thing. But the attention on Hycroft with what's about to happen with retail behind it is going to finally push all these ridiculous hedge funds and banks that are illegally naked shorting companies to death. It's going to push them into this. It's just going to blow them out, man. Yeah. Like you're going to see on the news, Charles Gasparino. I didn't know all that was going on. Like he's screwed. He's part of it.
Yep.
He's been stock bashing the whole time, and now they're all busted. They are busted.
Well, Jim Cramer, even with his YouTube video, or it was on YouTube, but the interview that he did with that young cat, explaining this very thing, he was explaining how he's doing as a hedge fund. He's
exactly.
And he's up. These guys are insane.
I've been copying and pasting that interview all day long.
Yeah.
Every time Jim Cramer spouts off something, if you notice my tweets, I just tweet back at him a snapshot of that interview. He explained it. He explained it in detail. But no, it's not going on. Bull crap. I understand the 2008 crash happened. I understand that Dodd-Frank law came along. I understand that they made these things illegal. However, there are so many loopholes that are written into the regulations that allows them to get away with it because they're market makers, because they're SROs, because of X, Y, or Z. They found a way around it, and they've been doing it since because the federal government has been keeping and buying all the crap that they could produce since 2008. And now that's coming to an end.
And that Jim Cramer article is the reason why he blocked me last year. because we're talking about the anatomy of a short, right?
Yeah,
Or am I
when he's explaining how he was a hedge fund manager and
Yes.
he hit pieces out and then short the
Yes,
stock to
that
get back on the
is
positive.
that's all in one article where he was
Yep.
quoted like 5 times. And while he was saying that he said, I don't do it, I don't do it, I don't do it. I incessantly tweeted this at him. And like 3 days later, I was blocked. He knows that he's caught out there. They all know that they're caught out there. And
Well, part of the
it's so
game,
mind-blowing.
part of this game, this naked short companies to death and then never pay for it, is media distortion, is short and distort. And Gasparino and Kramer are absolutely 100% implicated on this. And you can't tell me otherwise.
No. And that's why, Sears ran up here a couple months ago. That's why Blockbuster ran up a couple months ago. Now I've got to start digging and figuring out what is that going to look like, because they never close those short positions out, because if they close those short positions out, they get taxed. It's capital gains. But now that this thing is happening and is going to happen, what happens to those short positions that are still on the books? Even though they're not publicly traded, they're still listed on the exchange on the seller at 0.001 cents per share, because they didn't close out those positions.
I also want to bring up one other thing. So we have that legislation up, or that proposal about being more transparent with the short data. So I think that, of course, they're going to fight it tooth and nail, but I think they're going to go even harder, because we are going after their bread and butter, and they've eaten enough, in my opinion, and they're going to be done. And I think they are really all on their way out of trading, of the way of trading that they've known for the past 40 years.
Part of the issue is going to be, I don't know if y'all are tracking it, but what's it called? Opaque, semi-transparent, and transparent ETFs that the SEC signed off on in 2019 that allows hedge funds or anybody else who can create their own ETFs to make those semi-transparent, transparent, and opaque ETFs. And the rationale behind the semi-transparent and opaque, which you can't see, you don't know what's in it, and they made a quote in the article, was they can create these things and hide them from public view so that you don't see what's in the magic sauce and how they're doing it. So they can lump in whatever company, X, Y, or Z, Amazon, Google, whoever, just pick a bunch of companies, throw them into their own ETF, and you don't know what's in there or what they're doing with it if they're shorting it. So they are shorting through the ETFs and then buying back those shares that they don't want to short, those companies, and leaving the ones that are out there that they want to short and distorting the price. So I'm wondering how they're going to handle that facet of it. Like I said, if you looked at it, I think I tweeted out a couple months ago about that SEC ruling. So the market's changing. I think it's changing for the better. How are they going to report those short interests, for transparency? Who knows?
Hey guys, wow, I just stepped off the elliptical here. Groggy, you have your hand up. And thank you, Gold, for speaking. That's gold. Thank you. Groggy, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering if somebody can explain something to me here. Yahoo lists the short ratio, or the short percent of float, at 40.5%, but the short percent of shares outstanding at 0.55%. What's the difference there?
Swing or Spence or something.
So the shares outstanding are not issued out in the free float. You can have multiple, you can have hundreds of millions of shares outstanding that aren't actually out publicly traded. So that's the offering they're doing. They're going to have whatever shares that were in the offering document readily available to sell if they want, which will then be added to the free float. But as of right now, the publicly traded free float, publicly traded free float is what it is reported as, and that's why they do the short interest on that. So honestly, you can just Google shares outstanding versus free float, and Google has a really easy, simple explanation of it.
Okay. I'm only asking because TD Ameritrade only lists the 0.55%.
Yeah, it's really curious they do that. I started noticing that too, but the truth is when they got to cover the shares of the free float is what is diluting or not diluting the stock for the price. So that's why all the FUD came out about it. They were like, oh, it's diluting 100 billions of shares. Oh my God, everybody's going to die. And we're just like, bro, like, really just chill out for a minute. So,
okay. Thanks for the info.
Yeah, the MSM couldn't wait to come out and try to bash this stock. Just caught my first horse on Breath of the Wild, and I named it Hycroft.
Sorry, guys, that's so weird. Brandon just DM me saying that he was removed from the space and he can't get back in. That's so weird. So, some weird things.
Hold,
yeah,
please.
and I didn't either.
Hold,
so.
please. I have to confess, I was just getting my act together to try to DM you guys to find out who Brandon was. So
yeah, no, he's a good dude. So,
yeah, no. I did it on accident. I don't know if I did it or not, but my phone for the past like 40 minutes or an hour is opening up articles. It's switching, like something's wrong with it. So I'm almost 100% sure that
PJ
must
booted
have been
another. PJ booted another person from the space.
I'm so sorry. And
I mean, I mute people sometimes, and I don't mean to. Like,
but this time I wasn't even touching my phone, and I saw Brandon just go away. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh no, I'll DM back, and you know, I don't know if we can get him back in here if he's been.
I don't know. I did it again, but please tell him I'm sorry.
I will.
I'll tell you what, we've pretty much covered this extremely hot topic for the time being. I don't see any more hands up. Why don't we just have another call in about an hour or two so I can eat some dinner? I'm starving. And then it helps me keep continuity on the YouTube channel too, where it doesn't go for, 5 hours. So that way Brandon can come back into the space.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine with that.
Thanks for the info. Yeah, I'm good with